Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, two new polls showed two different views on Arizona's Medicaid expansion plans. We'll get the latest in our weekly legislative update with the Arizona Capital Times. A recent graduate of ASU's Cronkite School is part of a team that brings home a prestigious National Broadcasting Award. And we'll hear about an upcoming International Science and Engineering Fair set for next month in downtown Phoenix. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Two new polls show conflicting results regarding plans to expand Arizona's Medicaid program. We get the latest from Jim Small in our weekly legislative update with the Arizona Capital Times. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So we got what? One poll says what and one poll says something else, huh?
Yeah, a poll that was paid for by the Arizona State Chamber of Commerce, which is for the expansion, shows broad support for among voters for expanding the access program, and even among all the different partisan groups, Democrats, Independents, and most importantly, I think Republicans. On the flip side, there's another poll, also done by a national polling firm. We don't know who paid for it, but it seems as though it was opponents of the expansion who funded it, and it shows narrow support overall. But among Republicans, like 2-to-1 opposition to this, and 3-to-1 opposition almost to legislators who vote to put a tax on hospitals in order to pay for the expansion.
And again, the first poll was done by Public Opinion Strategies, a pretty well-known outfit there. Second poll by Magellan Strategies. Again, I've heard of them as well. These are reputable companies, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, they're both Republican polling firms. They largely do, congressional races, U.S. Senate races, presidential races in different states, stuff like that. Magellan in the past here has polled the Flake Carmona race, Flake Will Cardin race, the Romney Obama race. Public Opinion Strategies has worked for, more congressional candidates, I think, than you can count.
So how do we explain the disparity here?
A couple things. I think the biggest reason for the disparity is the way the questions were posed. In the Public Opinion Strategies poll, and we haven't seen all of the questions that they asked. We've seen some of them, and there's a lot more information that kind of try to lay some of the groundwork for the actual facts. I mean, this is a complex issue. There's a lot of things going on. Whereas the Magellan Strategies poll was an automated poll, and the question was fairly short and simple, and really didn't explain some of the financial underpinnings to this move and what the state would stand to gain from expanding its Medicaid program.
So with these two polls floating around, are we getting any progress, any new information regarding talks down at the Capitol?
Right now, it looks like really you've got the two sides kind of digging in. I talked to one person today who likened it to trench warfare in World War I, where you wake up every morning and you haven't moved. You're in the exact same place and you're fighting the same fight over and over again, and no one's really making any progress. The polls, I think, each kind of speak to they reinforce each side's view. Really at the end of the day, whether they're accurate or not, or whether they're viable representations of how the electorate actually feels. I think both sides can use the poll that they like best to their own advantage to bolster their view and to defend either supporting the expansion or opposing it.
All right, a bill to raise caps on campaign donations looks like it's passed the Senate here. Party line vote. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, this is a bill, I think it's gone to the governor's desk now, that it will essentially dramatically increase the campaign contribution limits to statewide and legislative and local candidates. Right now, Arizona has some very low campaign finance limits, that were set back in the 90s, in the mid to early 90s. And this would essentially increase them from about $440 for a legislative candidate, that anyone can write a check for, to $2,000. And it would increase PAC contributions, up to $4,000.
And this is the reason, among the many reasons here, is that some figure this could be unconstitutionally too low, correct?
Yeah, there's been an argument for years that because we artificially set our campaign finance limits low and we ratcheted them down a lot, especially in the wake of the ASCAM scandal back in the 90s, that following some of the Supreme Court decisions and court rulings in other states striking down low campaign finance limits as a violation of the First Amendment, that Arizona's limits were potentially unconstitutional. Only problem is no one's ever sued over Arizona's campaign finance limit, so we don't have a ruling. You know, the rulings in other states don't really apply to our situation here. So, you know, we've been left with these low limits.
So, what are we left with as far as candidates who run on clean elections and those who run private? I mean, it sounds like those who run private now could raise more than the clean elections candidates.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's always been the potential for them to raise more than the clean elections candidates, but this would certainly make it a lot easier. I mean, if you're running for a legislative office, to go out and raise $20,000 in $400 increments is one thing. To go out and do it in $2,000 increments is something entirely different.
And this is, again, a party line vote here. Any word on the governor likely to sign this, you think?
You know, I think a lot of people are hopeful that she will. You know, I mean, certainly she's, you know, I think this is viewed as kind of a conservative issue and sort of a, you know, a pro-Republican issue. So I think that there's certainly the hope that she will. You know, there's some constitutional questions that have been raised about whether doing it the way that they're doing it is actually legal, because there's some intertwining between the campaign finance limits and the Clean Elections Act, and some questions I think that haven't yet been litigated as to what needs to be done to help clean elections, whether anything needs to be done to help clean elections in order to raise the campaign finance limits.
Got about 30 seconds left. Attorney General Tom Horne wants some more money to patrol up at Colorado City. Mm-hmm. Obviously an effort earlier in the session to do something about the Colorado City Police Department did not get out. Will this get in?
It'll ultimately be rolled, I think, into the budget talks, you know, and so those will only progress, you know, we'll only see something move really quickly in budget once this Medicaid thing gets done, because that's really kind of the linchpin for everything. So, you know, he wants about $400,000 to fund some patrols, some outside patrols, to essentially provide law enforcement other than the law enforcement that they allege is controlled by the fundamental Latter-day Saints Church. And
we should mention that the previous legislation in this session, I think, passed the House with flying colors, got to the Senate, and nothing.
Yeah, and that's, you know, this is an issue that they fought really hard for last year as well. There were 2 or 3 different versions of it, and same thing this year. You know, just trying to push this thing across the finish line and haven't been able to do it yet.
All right, Jim, good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Get the inside scoop on what's happening at Arizona PBS. Become an 8 Insider. You'll receive weekly updates on the most anticipated upcoming programs and events. Get the 8 Insider delivered to your email inbox. Visit azpbs.org to sign up today.
The George Foster Peabody Award is one of broadcasting's most prestigious honor, and a very recent graduate of ASU's Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication was part of a team at ABC 15 that won a Peabody Award this year. Lauren Gilger is a 2011 graduate of the Cronkite School. She won a Peabody for a series of stories that exposed a deadly acceleration defect in Ford SUVs. Also joining us tonight is fellow Peabody Award winner Joe Ducey, investigative reporter at ABC 15. Good to have you both here. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
And congratulations on quite the honor here. I want to talk about that whole aspect in a second, but talk to us about the story. What got all this started and what kept you going on it?
This started as a nightly news story. Sage Bloom was a 17-year-old girl in Payson, Arizona, who got her first car from her dad. It was a 2002 Ford Escape, and she was driving it back from Phoenix, where they bought it, up to Payson. Her mom was following her in a car, and the accelerator stuck, the pedal stuck. She was speeding out of control, and she didn't know how to stop it. So she called her mom. Her mom called 911, didn't know what to do for her. So there was a recording of that, and that's how it all started.
And, you know, traffic accidents, fatalities, these things happen all the time. What got you guys going on this one?
Well, I think part of it actually was there was a 911 call that was made because the mother was following her up to pacing behind her and saw this happening. So it was just a heart-wrenching, dramatic call about, oh my gosh, my daughter, what's going on? Oh, it's out of control. She's going to flip. She's going to roll over. And I think that made it a little more something like, what's going on with this car? So, I mean, it could have ended up, as you know, just kind of a story that aired for 30 seconds on a weekend. But some people saw it. I have to credit our newsroom, took a look at it, said, hey, you may want to take a deeper look at this. We did, and that led to this. You
take a deeper look, and you decide maybe even a deep look here. The thought process that goes through on a story like this, because you never know that you're going to wind up winning a Peabody and you're going to wind up having God knows how many vehicles recalled. Take us through this and what you were thinking and what you were doing.
Well, it ended up being over 700,000 vehicles that were recalled. It began with a document that was a public record that anybody could have found. But Joe and I called an expert in D.C., Clarence Stitlow with the Center for Auto Safety. And that first time we had him on speakerphone, and we called him and talked to him and said, let's look up this car, what happened with this car? And there was a recall on it. And then we found that there was a notice that had been sent out to dealers after that, warning them about the recall repair. But it had never been sent to owners of the cars. So that's all we had to begin with. And then we just kept going with it. We followed it through the inspection of the car and found that it seemed to be the exact defect that they expected to find is what they found out.
The one that dealers were warned about, and that people never knew that there could be an incorrect repair that could cause this other issue.
How much blowback, pushback, how much resistance did you get in following the story?
From the station?
From everyone, from the Ford Motor Company to the station to the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, no, the station was great, and Scripps has been great about allowing these things to happen. And so they, allowed it to be on the air, and as far as it needed to go. In terms of Ford, I mean, Ford never really came back at us. I mean, they talked to us and they said, hey, here's what we're doing, but they never really denied, what was going on in a lot of this. And they didn't really push us. I expected more and didn't get that.
What about the family? What kind of a relationship did you have with the family?
Ryan Bloom was a great guy and just had an amazing story to tell, and we were really, really grateful that he told it. He sat down with us twice, once at the beginning when we started reporting this, and then again with Joe the day of the recall. And he was incredibly supportive and open, and we were lucky to have it, because without that, there would have been no heart to this story, and he was that.
Was there a point in the story when you knew, obviously you were onto something, and something was leading to something else? Was there a point when you realized, we're doing a big thing here? This is not just another investigative report. This is a big investigative report.
Yeah, I mean, I think initially, kind of the moment where it's the aha moment would be when we found that second remedy. Typically, there's one remedy that the recall, is basically to fix the car. There was another one. There aren't usually two. Why is there's this other one? We found that out. And then when we actually had the car, when the car was inspected by the independent inspector and they found exactly that, we knew there was something bigger here.
Same question to you. When you were in the process of all this, again, no one knows they're going to win a Peabody Award, but you do get the feeling you're doing something special, you're doing something different. Did you feel that early on, or did that grow as the process went?
For me, it was when the inspection happened, when we were there watching that inspection and we saw what we were looking for. I remember trying to understand. I learned a lot about cars through this, which was weird for me. But I remember seeing the picture. They stuck a camera underneath the engine and looked at it. And when you saw that cord stuck there and you saw the throttle wide open, that's when I went, oh my God, this is huge. And it just got bigger from there. We connected it to the Mazda tributes and continued.
And I think it's also surrounding yourself. I mean, we're not experts in everything, and you have to surround yourself with the people who know these things. And that was crucial in this case. It could kind of lead us through the path.
It's kind of an off question here, but when did you know this investigative story was over?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess, I still think it's going.
Yeah,
I mean, I still think that there are parts to this that haven't been exposed. I mean, we continued to look into it. We interviewed people around the country who had the same issue, even after Sage Bloom's incident, and found that this was widespread, that they knew about it for 10 years. So there were lawsuits that were settled. Those details weren't released all along. And so this has been an issue for a long time, and I still think there's more to it.
Well, now let's talk about this Peabody Award, this business here. How'd you find out?
I was watching the podcast at 7 a.m. with my dog and called Joe and he had left his phone at work, and I couldn't talk to him all morning. We were like, oh my gosh, does he even know?
You were watching the podcast at 7 in the morning. That means you must have had some idea something could happen here.
We had entered, but we just, I think we were both really surprised.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think this is not something you ever think is going to happen.
And
so, yeah.
your news director at the time, I believe, noted your stamina, your focus, your passion. You haven't been in the business all that long now.
Not very long.
No. Are you ready now to continue your career, knowing that you've been to the mountaintop here awfully young?
Yeah, definitely. I've learned so much being at 15 the last year and a half almost, and Joe's been in the business for 30 years and has taught me more than I can imagine, and it's just been a great ride.
And the award ceremony is what?
Oh, it's because of me, by the way.
Okay, all right. I was going to ask you what took you so long.
30
but that's
years
all
by now.
Award ceremony in New York City, what, May 20th here, something along those lines? Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations to both of you. I mean, it's great work, obviously, and the honor is really something, but to feel like you made a difference and that you helped at least one family, that's got to make you feel good.
Oh, that's the key. That's rare.
All right. Good to have you both here. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Expand your horizon with the Arizona Horizon website. To get there, go to azpbs.org. Click on the Arizona Horizon tab at the top of the screen. Once there, you can access many features, watch interviews by clicking on the video button. You can also find out what's on Arizona Horizon for the coming week. If you would like an RSS feed, a podcast, or want to buy a video, that's all on the website too. Want to learn about specific topics like immigration or the legislature? You can visit our special web sections. Show your support for Arizona Horizon at azpbs.org/Arizona Horizon.
Our continuing coverage of Arizona technology and innovation focuses tonight on the upcoming Intel International Science and Engineering Fair set for next month at the Phoenix Convention Center. Here to tell us about this high-profile event is Renee Levine, Intel's Community Engagement Manager, and Sarah Saka, a student from Xavier College Preparatory School. Sarah will be competing in the Science Fair. Good to have you both here. Thanks for joining us. Give us an overview now of this fair. What are we talking about?
This is the largest pre-college science fair in the world. We're expecting 1,500 students from 70 different countries, regions, and territories that will descend upon Phoenix May 15th through the 17th. They're competing for $3 million worth of prizes.
Oh, my goodness. And age range, grade range?
They are high school students.
So 9 through 12, something along those lines. And they made it to this level by winning earlier competitions?
They did. Most of them had a competition either at a regional level, a state level, or a country level. Sarah won at the state level, and she'll be competing in the competition.
And I want to get to Sarah here in a second, but let's get back to the actual event. Is it a competition? How does that work? How do you compete? Are you just up there one after the other and judges throw up flashcards, or what's going on?
No, so each project is in an individual category. There's 17 different categories: animal science, behavioral science, microbiology. These are just some of the categories. There's a cadre of judges that will go around, and each project is reviewed by 10 judges, and then the cohort of judges make the decision on who's the top prize in each individual category.
That's very exciting. All right, Sarah, let's get to you now. You won the state competition, correct?
Yes.
And now you're the international competition. What is your focus? What did you present?
Specifically, scientifically, I'm in microbiology, but the special part of this is that it amalgamates science and social issues, and so I delved into the social aspect of science and the practical application and sustainable development.
And we're looking at some of your work right here. It sounds like you're talking about emergency food products for famine relief, something along those lines?
Yes. There's an increasing number of humanitarian emergencies worldwide today, and there's an acute and immediate need for food relief. And emergency food products, or EFPs, is what is provided as food relief in these cases. And I actually was watching a CNN special about the famine and drought in Somalia, and there was a shot of a little child trying to eat an unpalatable, dry, paste-like substance. And based on that, I delved into social issues and science and did my project.
I was going to say, I mean, we all watch television and see certain segments. Rarely do we wind up trying to change the world because of it. Was it something you were leaning in that direction to begin with, or did it just really hit you, that one story?
I personally have a fond interest for social issues and politics, and I'm always catching up in the news, but when I saw the shot of a little child trying to eat it, that was particularly poignant, and I decided to no better way to do a science project that has such a broad practical application.
When you first started your project to when you won the state award and now you're competing internationally, has the scope or any aspect of the project changed?
Definitely as far as the extent of my further research, and I've thought more and more about the implications of my project, but this is a continuation of my project that I did last year and took to Intel ISF last year, so the scope has changed over the 2-year period, of course.
So you got some experience in this level, huh?
To an extent,
yeah. The international competition, how did Phoenix land this?
So Society for Science and the Public is the organization that runs the fair, and they went out and determined that Phoenix, LA, and Pittsburgh are the 3 cities that it will rotate within the next decade. So we expect, well, we will have the fair here in 2013, 2016, and 2019.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of responsibility. I would imagine it's not just throw up the signs, open up the airport, and let everyone come in. The logistics must be tremendous for something like this.
You're right. And there is a local arrangements committee made up of businesses, educators, all kinds of volunteers throughout the community. And we're really seeking community support for this program. We need 1,000 judges, most of them at a PhD level or a bachelor's, master's degree plus 6 years of experience. We need interpreters from all different languages.
Interesting.
We need people to help on the Outreach Day, which is the public day on Thursday, May 16th. And we will have 4,000 Arizona students attending the fair, and they're going to be doing all kinds of hands-on activities and making sure the kids get to go through the arena to see all of the projects.
Now, what about housing, transportation, those sorts of things?
They have booked pretty much every hotel room in Phoenix. We've been working with, the local light rail and the airports. They'll even need greeters at the airport to help the kids and their chaperones make sure they get on the right bus or the right light rail system to get to their hotel.
And we're looking at some of the folks here from the Arizona Fair, Engineering Fair. Again, this is the internet. This is the big kahuna here.
This is the big kahuna.
Yeah. and Sarah, the idea of competing, does that spur you on in any way?
It does. Of course, it's very intimidating with such formidable judges and so many projects, so many students, but I think the experience of just being able to learn from people with, like last year's winner who came up with the pancreatic cancer test, that's just where science lies today.
Yeah, so, but again, it seems like if you were just, you do care about winning, right? I mean, you're gung-ho about this.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure, because...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and where do you plan to go on this now? Do you plan to you mentioned social issues and science together. Where do you plan? What's next for you?
At this point, it actually presents a marketable, viable food product, so I may try to explore the marketability of the actual product as an alternative to the standard product, but scientifically also just doing more research on the potential of the antimicrobial compounds within the spices and just refining the product itself.
And as far as college is concerned, you got some places in mind?
I do. I'm a junior, so I have a little time.
A little time?
Yes, yeah.
Well, Arizona State's not too far away now. And as far as the competition is concerned, again, where, when, and for folks watching this that, they may not be able to be a judge and they may not be able to take part, but they're just fascinated by these kids doing these great things. How can they come and watch and be a witness to all this?
So I hope that they will realize that there will be 1,500 kids as smart as Sarah at this competition. And on Thursday, it's the public day, and it's open, and it's free. So bring your families, bring your students. If you have a school, bring them down and just check out these amazing projects. The students will be there, I believe, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. that day, so you can meet with the students. But really, if you go on the website, you can see the wide variety of people that we need
And give us that website address
It's
again.
www.societyforscience.org.
Okay, it's Society for Science. I think we got it right up there, and that's Intel
ICEF 2013.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And the dates again?
May 13th through the 17th is the fair.
Very good. Good to have you both there, and good luck in that competition.
Thank you.
Thursday on Arizona Horizon, we go straight to the source for the latest from the Capitol as legislative leaders make their monthly appearance on the show. And we'll take a look at some of the art that debuted with Sky Harbor's new SkyTrain. That's at 5:30 and 10 on the next Arizona Horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Support for Arizona technology and innovation on Horizon comes from Intel, helping to transform the lives of millions through education, working with countries, communities, and schools worldwide to bring the resources and solutions needed for advancing education. For information, Intel.com.